Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be discussing a few of the things that I feel like you definitely need to buy in the US before you PCS to Germany. Some of these things can be applied to like overseas in general, but because my husband and I are currently stationed in Germany, I have this specific information to share. But if you are PCSing somewhere overseas, this video will definitely be helpful for you. Tiny bit of background information. We have been stationed here for a little bit over a year, so we have faced some obstacles along the way. And through these obstacles, I've discovered some things that I feel like people don't really talk about that you should buy before you move over here. So without further ado, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. I don't usually do sit-down videos very often anymore, but these are things that I was asked on my Instagram, which I will put right here, to share. So I definitely wanted to make a video explaining every little detail and all the things that we've gone through being over here. So if you've subscribed, let's go ahead and get started. I want to start with one of the most basic ones that everyone talks about is fans, like tower fans or like circle fans or whatever. From our experience and where we live, we do have to live on post, so keep that in mind. We do have American plugs and German plugs, so that's really nice. So we bought a fan from the States and I used a regular adapter with it instead of like a transformer adapter type thing, and I blew it out. So don't be like me. If you do buy fans in the States and bring them here, make sure you plug them into only American plugs or into German plugs with an adapter. I don't know why I did that, but the fans that you get here at the PX versus what you can get in like at Target, Walmart, anywhere, you get more quality for your money if you buy fans in the States versus here. The PX that we have is very small and doesn't have a lot of variety, so just keep that in mind. Not necessarily saying you have to buy fans, but it is something that you will probably get a better quality fan for the money that you're spending in the States if you ship that over here. Just make sure you don't plug it into a regular adapter into a German plug if you have an American plug fan. You can also buy fans on German Amazon. I have done that, but also with that, you're plugging into a German plug, so it's something that we'll probably either sell or get a transformer little thing for if we take it back with us to the States. So keep that in mind, that different plugs, you know, plug into different outlets, but where we live on post, they do have American and German outlets. I hope that made sense. I feel like I went in like 7 different tangents with that, but better quality fans for less money in the States is definitely a thing. The second thing that a lot of people have said to buy is a water filter. There's 2 different types of water filter that I'm gonna be talking about. So one is like a Brita. I bought mine on regular American Amazon and it was fine, but I think you'll have more of a variety if you buy them in the States versus what we have at our PX. Do not buy a zero water filter, like a zero water filter. We had multiple like filters, different containers, different everything, and it just like does not last nearly as long as a Brita does. I highly recommend a Brita. If you are gonna be buying a water filter, I would recommend it. The reason I would say buy it in the States is just because you have more variety, but it doesn't mean that you can't buy it here. The second water filter that everybody recommends is a shower head filter. This is the one that I bought. I will put the link for it down in the description box below. It just, the water is hard water here and it makes your hair feel gross, your body feel gross and dry. Not gross necessarily, but like it just helps your skin and your hair if you have a water filter on your shower head. I believe that one was like maybe 20 to 30 bucks. I don't really remember exactly how much it was, but I will definitely put the link down in the description below. A lot of people recommend them for hair because your hair can fall out or get really dry or all the things. So speaking of, I do need to buy a filter for that soon, like a new filter for it, but we have used it, we do like it, it's super easy to install, so I will definitely put that link down in the description box. The next thing that I would highly recommend, car parts are so hard to find here. Cars in the States are American spec cars, like duh. But you don't think about that when you move overseas or like to Europe. German cars are European spec and they have different parts. So when we're going out on the economy here trying to find car parts, they don't fit my car. The American spec ones are so expensive because obviously we're not in America. Why would they need to have American spec parts? So you can also order them online, but just keep in mind it takes a long time. So what I would recommend, if you're not gonna buy car parts while you're in the States, like think about, I don't know, think about the things that you are gonna have to buy in the next 3-4 years, and maybe order them as soon as you get here or before you leave, because they are cheaper in the States, and shipping coming over here, sometimes it's free shipping, sometimes it's not. Sometimes things don't ship to APO addresses. Right now, I am in the process of replacing my brake pads and my rotors, and it has been like 3-month-long process because I've gone to the European stores and they don't make the parts that I need. And if they do make it, they have to order it, and it's like extremely expensive. And then you have to pay for installation here, and some people don't do installation here. It's just such a hot mess. My thing that I wish I knew before I left the States is just get all the new parts that you need. Like replace the rotors and the brake pads before you leave, get new oil, like get a new oil filter, replace your oil, like things like that, like little things that you like wouldn't even think to get, because now that we're here and we're waiting such a long time for this, it's like really frustrating that I didn't just do this before I left. I know it's an extra step, I know it's something that we didn't need, and now we're a year in and now I need it, but like I wish I had known to get brake pads, rotors, all of that done on my car. I needed 2 new front tires, those kind of things. I know this is like a huge extra step, but if you go to like your dealership or your like inspection place, like an auto shop or whatever, and you could just straight up be like, hey, I'm moving to Germany or wherever for the next 4 years. Let me know what you think I might need in the next couple years to put on my car, because it's going to be expensive and a very long process when you move over here. I know this is a super long-winded answer, but the struggle that we have been through in the last 3-4 months has been a hot mess. So I highly recommend doing that, checking that out. I'll leave you with that. So the next couple things are specialty items. So they're not necessarily things that you need, but if you're like a very picky person with coffee, with spices, with sauces, Chick-fil-A, Whataburger, I'm from Texas, Whataburger sauces. We have our family ship them to us, but you know, while you're there, you might as well buy some Chick-fil-A sauces and some Whataburger sauces, you know, stock up. Any kind of like, we have a special like fajita seasoning that we like to buy or use, and we had his mom and my mom send us some because we were like, okay, well now we're out of it. I wish we had bought an extra one before we left, and things like that. Specialty coffee, if you have a coffee shop that you love, maybe go ahead and buy that before you leave as well. Another thing is like supplements. Supplements are different here. They're something that you can't get shipped to an APO address either. So like you can't ship American supplements that only shipped like in the States to your APO address. You're not supposed to ship supplements to your APO address. In our experience, German supplements are a bit different. You can go to the PX, they have some, but if you are like super picky about what supplements you use, like I know Alani Nu is something that I really enjoyed using when I was in the States. I wish I had kind of like stocked up on some things. Our PX doesn't have anything but pre-workout for Alani Nu, for example. I don't take pre-workout. I use pump and like BCAAs and stuff, and they don't have that, so we had to go to the PX that's like an hour and a half away from us to go buy that, which is like extra. So I just wish I had stocked up on some of those things like spices, sauces, specialty coffee. We have found some great coffee here. So coffee is not something that is like hard to come by any means. If you are really interested in coffee, they have coffee obviously at the PX, like not anything to worry about, but just think about the specialty items that you use on a daily basis or like weekly basis, or something that you feel like you couldn't live without. Maybe order that and take that with you. I know you can take supplements with you on a checked bag. I know you can do the same with spices and did I say coffee? No, coffee, and then like sauces. We took a bunch of like Chick-fil-A sauces and Whataburger sauces with us when we moved here. So just think about those specialty items and maybe stock up on a couple things. Another thing, specialty-ish, is beauty items. Our PX specifically, like I said, is very small, so a lot of like beauty items are kind of hard to come by. We have to go to the PX that's like an hour and a half from us in order to get bigger variety of things. So just keep that in mind. Depending on where you're going to be stationed at, if you're going to be stationed in like K-Town, like Kaiserslautern, Ramstein area, you're probably going to be a lot better off than people who are going to be in Ansbach, because we have a very teeny tiny PX. If you have like a specific shampoo, conditioner, something like that you can't order off of Amazon or whatever, maybe stock up on a couple bottles of those. And yeah, like beauty items, some makeup, think about makeup as well. A lot of the PXs have like L'Oreal, Maybelline, stuff like that, but if you are a like specifically MAC or like a higher end kind of makeup person, maybe stock up on some makeup as well. But with all that being said, you don't need any of this. You don't need makeup, you don't need extra special coffee, sauces, spices, any supplements, anything like that. They do have those things here, but if you are specific to like an American brand that you only use, maybe look into stocking up on that or seeing if they ship to APO addresses, or see if someone you know can send you some stuff. You cannot get coffee, tobacco, or supplements to your APO address, so keep that in mind. Another thing with the car parts that I forgot to mention is winter tires. In Germany, we were not aware, which is funny because my husband lived here for 2 years before in a different city. We were not aware that you had to have winter or all-season tires when it comes to winter season in Germany. So if you only have summer tires on your car because you're stationed in like Texas right now or something, think about maybe ordering your winter tires beforehand or buy them and have them shipped. I don't know. We had to order all 4 new tires because Jake's car that he bought here didn't come with winter tires. We wish we had known to buy a car with all season tires on it. We do have all season tires on it now instead of just winter tires, but we also have his summer tires too. So just keep in mind that your cars will need to have all season or winter summer tires. Along with winter stuff, if you are, again, being stationed somewhere in like Texas and you're moving to Germany, keep in mind, you're gonna need winter clothes. I wouldn't go ahead and say that you need to buy like a full-on like ski outfit, like something you could like survive the tundra in, but a nice, good, heavy, puffy coat or something. Maybe find it on sale, especially in Texas, since you don't really need them in Texas. Maybe find it on sale before you get here. Not saying that it's like overly expensive or anything once you get here, but it is something nice to have so you're not freezing in the wintertime. The very last thing that I'm going to recommend is, again, not needed, but it is very much encouraged from my point of view, is a tourist passport. When you move here, on orders, you're gonna be given a no-fee passport that you have to apply to be able to move here. That's your visa, that's how you're able to stay here as long as you're staying. But in my opinion, I definitely think you need a tourist passport if you plan on doing any traveling at all. I'm not gonna say it's 100% needed, but it's 100% needed that you need a tourist passport. If you plan on traveling at all, get yourself a tourist passport before you leave. But you definitely need your no-fee passport before you move here now. So while you're doing that, apply for a tourist passport too. I know it costs money, but I promise you it's worth it. So worth it to have a tourist passport because you're gonna wanna travel here. So that is my last thing that I feel like you need to buy before moving here. If you are already stationed overseas and you have anything to add to this list, please feel free to comment down below and add that to the list. When I first moved here and I was like, oh my gosh, there's so many things on this list that like I don't need to buy. I'm not picky about like beauty items or whatever. I'll figure it out. With coffee, we figured it out. Spices. There are a couple things that our family can send us, but the things that you definitely need to get: car parts, water filter, unless you want to like have really dry skin, really dry hair falling out, and maybe some fans. Those would be my like top 3 if you don't buy anything else. And that's everything you need to know. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out on my Instagram, DM me, email me, comment down below. I don't care. However you feel like you want to contact me is fine by me, and I'll answer any questions that I can. So again, don't forget to click that subscribe button down below. I'm gonna hopefully be posting a couple more sit down videos. Like I said, I haven't really been doing these much lately, but I will start to be able to answer questions and give more information about PCSing overseas or just life in general. You let me know what kind of videos you want to see, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!